Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers as well as coarse language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Anime Podcast, and today we're looking back at Spring 2017. Oh, what a great season, am I right, guys?
No.
It
was horrible.
I know, you're just being tsundere about it. You actually loved it deep down.
It was the worst 3 months of my entire life. I want to die.
Oh, well, me IRL, right? Anyways.
That's anime IRL.
Anyways, our lineup for today is, well, we got our guest coming back who was with us on the Impressions video, DJ Wilson, right?
Yep. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, it's great to have you back. Oh, wait, fuck, it's Dr. J. Wilson, right? Not DJ Wilson.
It is Dr. J. I am not a DJ.
I fucked it up.
I worked very hard for this degree.
I saw the D and then the J, and I was like, oh, that's totally it. Fuck. I feel embarrassed now.
He has a PhD in dropping the beat.
Exactly.
Oh.
Okay. We also got Kavrik, the Russian.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. We got Mozilla Fennekin.
Do.
Oh,
Don't mind my voice, that's just my voice.
And you got me, Random Dude Man 12. So let's get right into it. First show we're going to talk about is, what is it? Akashic Records of a Bastard Instructor, something like that. What do you guys think of it? Wilson, you want to start us off?
Well, so I actually dropped it shortly after. Yeah, we talked about
great start.
I mean, I just didn't. I wasn't into it enough to continue it, and after I dropped it after the episode with the weird rape scene, and I was just like, I'm not feeling this.
That was the second episode, man.
Yeah,
great start.
That was quick. Jeez, you didn't even give it the 3-episode rule.
What can I say? There's a lot of anime to watch.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. Okay, I guess we'll move on then. Kavrik, how about you?
Yeah, I took it further and dropped it at episode 0.
Oh, shit!
Yeah,
starting out real great, guys.
Great start.
Is this a testament to how this season went, guys? I'm kind of worried.
You thought I was joking, didn't you?
Mozelle, you want
Okay,
pick up the ball?
I had the great displeasure of watching the entire show, and I regretted every second of it.
Whoa. Wait, I remember someone kind of defending the show before.
Dude, man, I read the source material.
Yeah,
I read the source before, so I knew what was coming, and I kind of mentally prepared myself for it.
Okay, here's the thing about Akashic Records. This show is good if you really, really, really hate the Asterisk War, and that's all you can think about. Because all I can really say to defend Akashic Records is it's not that bad. It's just, like, despite the design of the uniforms, this show is a lot less fan servicey than other shows of its kind. It has a main character who has an actual personality and isn't just some cutout avatar for you to project yourself onto. It's just like a step above, but despite that, the show has no accomplishments of itself. Like, it throws out all these ideas without ever exploring them much. It constantly changes tone. Like, this show is actually really frustrating to watch because of how it wants to be really funny, but it also tries to be like an edgy drama at the same time, and it can never stay in one spot at one time. It's always shifting between each other, and it was horrible.
So it's one of those shows where you're like watching a scene and do not know whether you should cry or laugh because it's stupid, right?
It's not even really that. It's just like, okay, so the next episode previews are like these really stupid, shitty, like chibi shorts, you know, that they sometimes put on like a YouTube channel. But it'll happen like right after a dark dramatic scene, and it's just like, what am I supposed to be watching here? It's like the show will end on a cliffhanger and then literally become a parody of itself.
Yeah, that bugged me a lot because like there's one scene where it like ends really sad, everyone's crying, everyone's really sad, and then like it goes to that chibi thing, and like the guy pops up and he's like, oh no, it's everything so bad.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, okay. I mean, you could also not do the episode preview if you want to, keep the tone, I guess.
I mean, I know a lot of shows, like, I remember ReZero and Yojo Senki did these chibi things. I'm not a fan of these things, for the record, just in general, but especially for Akashic Records, they were bad just because they were actually part of the episode.
Did they actually have like relevance to the plot at all, or?
No, they were just, I don't know, they were just basically recaps or previews.
Yeah, there wasn't much to it. It was just fluff. So it was just kind of there. Yeah, actually, so I finished it. I actually thought it was pretty average, but then again, I also knew what I was expecting, so it was like, it's like I had zero expectations for this, so I just kind of put it on in the background and like watched it while doing other stuff. Like I'd literally be on my phone.
Yeah, you start and it's like, well, it's a light novel adaptation. Here we go.
Yeah, no, I like the memes about the uniforms though. That was great. It was fantastic to see some of the fan art that popped up because of those uniforms. It was like, how is this possible? What is the point of this? Why the straps?
I don't know.
It might be someone's fetish.
Someone mentioned they couldn't take it seriously because they all the girls just look like strippers.
Yeah, that's another thing that I hated.
Yeah, that was. Oh man. Yeah, it was an interesting series. I don't think it was like I personally don't think it was terrible. I think it was average, but yeah, like you said, Fennekin, it didn't do anything special at the end of the day, and it really suffered for that. Its constant tone shifts were annoying, and frankly, like it was kind of weird how like they make things really depressing, and then like he comes in and tries to be lighthearted. All of a sudden, it's just kind of like, wait, what? Like a good example, which is in the second episode, actually, like the rape scene, which is so weird because she's freaking out. She's like, it could actually go the distance. Like this villain could do something to her, and then he walks in and like acts like, oh, nothing happened.
No, wait, does he like take a look at them and then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll leave you to it
Yeah,
then, and just like
walks
walks out.
Yeah, it's kind of like a weird tone shift. I mean, I think we discussed it in the impressions episode. I can't remember what we said then, but looking back on it, it is a strange tonal shift, which I guess if it actually like was trying to be more of a comedy, it'd be fine, but it wasn't at the end of the day. It kind of tried to be more dramatic, which was unfortunate.
Yeah,
I
like
would
the
have
first
preferred
episode... Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just gonna say I would prefer it more if it would actually try to be a comedy. I think it would have done a little bit better if it really, focused on that instead of, this foreboding serious thing, but light novel trash, so whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I enjoyed the first episode personally. It wasn't like the funniest thing I'd ever seen, but I thought like particularly the moments between Glenn and Sistine, I thought they were pretty funny. It's like the show had this I don't know. It's like the dialogue between the characters was funny, and that's all. Although it would also get into like much more louder, over the top bits, which I don't like. It kind of felt like sometimes the show was just like it accidentally made me laugh, and then it just went for a much more obvious gag that didn't work.
Yeah, it was just kind of there. I mean, worst case scenario, it was at least something to watch on I think Tuesdays.
Yeah, it was on Tuesdays, yeah.
So, and I can't remember what else came on Tuesdays, so...
It was Suka Suka.
No, it was then Thursdays, because Suka Suka came on a different day.
No, Suka Suka and Akashic Records came out on the same day.
Really? Oh.
Yep.
Okay, well, I guess it just helped fill up the time then.
So what score did you give it?
Sorry?
What score did you give it?
Oh, I think I gave it a 6 or 7.
Oh.
I gave it a 2.
Oh, shit.
I mean, in a way, like, I see what you're saying.
Slaying it.
I see what you're saying. It's kind of average in a way, but I just think that it doesn't really like do anything specifically terribly, but I just don't know what I would recommend this show for. Like, what is it about this show that I can actually grab from? Like, the main character, maybe, but that's about it.
Uniform designs.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
there's one thing.
At the very least, the fan art from the series is going to be 10 out of 10.
You know, like, the uniforms really bother me just because this show is not fan servicey at all beyond that. It's just like, what was the point? Like, if you're going to be an ecchi show, then just be an ecchi show.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this is useless.
You just gotta have that basis for the jeans, you know?
Yeah, you got fill up those light novel, color illustrations with something interesting, something eye catching. So then, when some random otaku is going through the store and picking up random light novels to read, he sees that uniform and he's like, "Dude, I could get in on that. Let's read it."
Get that shit trending on Pixiv.
Yeah, sales tactic, man. It's dastardly. Anyways, let's move on from one trash show to another. Eromanga Sensei.
Oh, fucking great.
Woo! Okay. Anyone really want to start us off here?
Yeah, I could start it with it. Yeah. It's kind of weird. I like rom-com genre in general. And I cannot say I hated Eromanga Sensei as it seems everyone else does. It was, of course, pretty trashy. It was pretty horrible at times. It was full of memes, full of fetishes, full of lollies, full of I don't know what else. And despite being completely ridiculous, it was still somewhat fine to watch because it was an undying formula of harem, of misunderstandings, of cute girls and stuff. It's still like fine to watch because there was nothing more going for it. Like there was no drama. There was no like some deep stuff. Just some cute girls. Just some humor. Lots of fan service, of course. Well, it's an ecchi series, so here's that. And it was high production quality. I like it. It looks fine. There was catchy OP, catchy AD, and I gave it 4. But I cannot say I hated myself watching it, at least. I was not bored. That's what matters.
Okay, I feel like... Okay, when you said, it didn't do anything wrong, I kind of got worried while I was watching, because, thinking, am I going to go to jail while watching this?
Am I going to hear sirens outside soon?
Is something going to go wrong? I feel wrong watching this. I saw some of the scenes, and I was just... I instantly, try to hide it. I pulled them on the screen all the way down. I tried to get out of view. I was just like, no, I have to wait for this moment to pass. I just can't do it. I don't even want to try and skip ahead if I get to see something worse. That's how I felt for some of the later episodes.
I just want to note that Kaverick said this is an ecchi show and the main character is 12.
And are so also all the other members of the harem, they're 12 and 14, so
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. I can understand high schoolers or 16 or 17, at least there's some leeway, but 12 is no, please, God.
Well, they call me a lolicon for a reason,
Okay. So yeah, as for my thoughts, I don't know, it's just I didn't feel very interested, partially because it was a rom-com, and I honestly feel like I've seen them all at this point. Even though I've watched barely any anime compared to some of you guys, I still feel like I know what's happening. Probably because I end up reading a lot of mangas nowadays, and you just you see a stupid amount of rom-coms and other
tropes,
shit.
yeah.
So you just kind of get numb to it, and honestly, it didn't interest me. Some of the classic gags just kept appearing over and over again. She doesn't like him. Oh, but now she likes him. Oh, but now she's being obsessive about him. Oh, she's trying to brag. Oh, they're playing the game. Oh, what are they going to do? They're probably going to get him to kiss one of them. Oh, I saw that coming from 5 miles away.
Yeah, my favorite misunderstanding is when Masamune said that she likes Sagiri as her sister. I like her. Nah. Oh, the sister, of course, is a sister. Yes, of course, is a sister. How would you misunderstand it? Of course, I like you as a sister. Nothing else. Yeah.
Yo, I got super tired of Sagiri's tsundere antics.
Yeah.
Almost instantly. It's just kind of everyone knows what she wants, but she does not. And
It's
apparently
kinda
she
interesting.
gets mad over and over again. And it's just kind of like, please, if you're gonna go jail, just do it at least. Don't be a wimp about it. Just man up and like do it.
I would go as far and say that without Sagiri, Eromanga Sensei would be a pretty average, unnoticeable rom-com, which is full of... Every season is full of such. But Sagiri made it an outstanding anime in a sense because everyone kept talking about it.
It made
how
infamous.
Yeah, because other girls were like pretty much usual and nothing noteworthy. But Sagiri is something else. And all those comparisons to trash cans, they're for a reason here. Let's say that.
Okay, Wilson, did you watch the show?
I mean, I watched the beginning and I did drop it eventually, but I mean, I didn't like hate it. Like I just after a while I was watching it and I was like, I'm bored. So why am I watching this? And I just turned it off. Like what bothered me is that like a lot of the shots are just obviously fan service. Like there's one where like Sagiri falls over and the camera is just like in her shirt. I'm just like, what? Am I supposed to feel good about this? I just was like,
she's 12. Every time that happened, it was just like I feel like a warning is going to pop up on the screen, like she's 12, and like
Yeah,
big red letters keeps flashing over the screen.
Yeah, you're not weird enough.
and then there's also this like they have that big misunderstanding where Sagiri says I like someone. And obviously he doesn't get it. It's just like the same, trappings of like, anime rom-coms that I just didn't want to watch anymore.
Yeah, I guess it just comes down to your tolerance to rom-com stuff. Like, some people like battle harems, and even though they are trash, they're still watching it because they like the genre. It's the same for me, just for rom-coms. I know they are kind of bad, and I know that most of them are not very good, and probably not worthy of my time. But I'm still watching it because it's just pure fun for me.
Okay. Mazala, what did you watch it or did you drop it?
I watched one episode and then dropped it. But I assure you, I know actually a lot about this show, and I assure you, if I watched it, I would have absolutely hated it.
Oh.
So, like, one hated it, right? Like,
What's
score of one. Score of one, right?
Maybe. I don't know if it would be that low.
Dude, you could just put in your tags. I would actually give this a -5, but Mal's system sucks.
Yeah, thanks, Mal. But I mean, I didn't watch Eromanga Sensei just because the concept wasn't interesting. It's just a light novel author and a light novel illustrator. I didn't even really know where it would go with that. That would maybe be the only reason why I would continue. But beyond that, I didn't care just because I didn't like either of the main characters, so whatever.
No, that's understandable.
And for the record, I didn't actually realize that this was by the Orihimo author going into it. And even then, I didn't... Well, actually... No, I did know that. But I didn't actually know that Orihimo was about a light novel author. So... If I knew about that, I probably wouldn't have watched this at all.
What really worries me is that they're in the same universe apparently because they show up at the end of the Eromanga Sensei.
Yeah.
So now we have this like weird like love your little sister universe that all these people play around in. So
God, my Twitter lit the fuck up when that happened.
Yep.
Can we talk about how like for some reason this like 15 or 16-year-old guy is able to become like a semi-successful light novel author, and how like those 14-year-olds and 12-year-old girls are also able to become successful, and then Sagiri is able to become successful as an artist at 12. Like, what the fuck?
that that bothered me as well. Like it kind of affected my suspension of disbelief.
Jeez, I'm thinking about like this one random Japanese guy living in his apartment in Tokyo trying to make ends meet, and he watches this, and this guy's bragging about how like this random fuck is able to like churn out like novels and drawings in like a single day, and he's just thinking like, this is hard shit. Don't fucking like idolize it. Don't make it seem like it's easy. I get paid peanuts.
Hey, that's the animators who made this show.
Yeah. Don't forget that they are living all by their own, and the Masamune has to basically go to school, work, and keep the house clean. it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, my suspension of disbelief is already broken by that. He should not have time for all this.
Yeah, he would have broken. Yep.
God, it's crazy. Any other final thoughts on this show before we move on?
I was kind of bothered by the hate all around the Reddit and internet. It was not very healthy. It was pretty toxic, in my opinion. And yeah, it doesn't portray Az's community very well, I believe.
No, that makes sense. Actually, I kind of want to actually spend some time talking about that, since we all know like Digibro did his like a podcast every single episode for this, and it was basically just like a whole thing hating on it, and I kind of feel bad for like people. Like I know I say like I don't like it, but I still respect people who say that they do like it. Like I mean, tastes are different, so I'm not gonna judge. But it still kind of sucks because when you see all that negativity towards a series that you maybe you enjoyed it a lot, maybe you just enjoyed it a little, it's still kind of unfortunate. I just don't know. Like it sucks, but what is there to do about it?
Yeah. And I believe as much as people talked about it this season, it will be forgotten in like several months.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless you go to 4chan, who they're never going to forget this show.
Unless we get the second season.
4chan still hasn't forgotten Umaru. It's great. Actually, no, it's terrible, but it's okay. Like I read the manga for Umaru, so that's a lot easier to stomach.
But what you were saying about the community is interesting because I think there's a very clear difference as to like who's watching this show. I'm going to sound kind of pretentious here, but if you look at Eromanga Sensei critically, and I would actually say this applies to Akashic Records as well, but if you look at it critically, then you're going to find a lot of problems with it. But I read the discussion threads for Eromanga Sensei, and they're very, very simplistic. It's like, oh, screen cap, this is best girl, oh, I love this scene, we're all going to jail, lol. It's just a bunch of one-liners, basically. If you actually get into like a heated discussion with someone, then that's when you realize like, oh, the show's kind of trashy.
Yeah, because there is nothing really to discuss when it comes to Eromanga Sensei.
But that still sort of bugs me because there's this growing like rift in the community where some people want to be able to discuss things more in depth while others want to, have those one-liners. And I mean, maybe with at least this show, it works like that. But I wonder, not that I wonder, but I've seen it for other shows. Again, I'm going to mention it, Origairu. Damn it, fucking hell! Every single fucking episode without fail.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that shit happened in the discussion threads for it, where you had those two sides conflicting. And I want to say that both are, fine, but it kind of sucks when you have people like hate each other for it. Like, why can't you watch a show and enjoy like the simple things for it? Even if you like, maybe people feel like it's, you're enabling the downfall of the anime industry by watching this trash. But then again, most people who watch it don't even like, support it at all. Probably don't pay for Crunchyroll or even like buy the BDs or anything. So what's the point? Why does it matter?
I mean, I'm fairly more critical minded, but I don't think there's anything wrong with what people are doing when they just watch a show and they just have fun with it. I think that's completely fine. And if I don't like it, I just ignore it. As I did with this show. I didn't watch it.
Yeah. It just comes down to respect. Like, you have to respect other opinion, and that's about it.
Like, everyone is, they have the... I forgot the word, I'm so sorry. But everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and they can like what they like.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, and with that, let's move on to a meme show. Well, kind of meme show. Renai Boukun, or a Love Tyrant, where the main girl is basically, a lol so random person, and it was a generic, well, not generic, but it was a rom-com sort of thing with a harem.
I know Maz loved it.
Yes.
Oh, really? Right? Please do tell.
All right, so Love Tyrant was my favorite anime of the season, like without any doubt in my mind. I know it's a really unpopular opinion. This is even lower rated than Eromanga Sensei. I guess it's just you really have to be in the right audience for it, because this is a very bizarre show. It's very unapologetic about that. It always throws all these different crazy, wacky, random ideas at you, like some weird cursed penguin just chasing people around in a town, even though the town is otherwise completely normal. And also the fact that one of the characters just throws knives at people if she doesn't like you. But that's kind of why I love Tyrant. I think that every episode was just memorable in its own way. It was just, I don't know, it didn't exactly have like a strong punchline to it like other comedy shows like Konosuba, but it's just like all the individual jokes itself worked really well. It just had this really, it had a lot of energy to it. It was just a really fun show that never tried boring you, I guess.
I completely agree about the energy thing. I watched the first episode of it based on your recommendation, and I really enjoyed it. Actually, it was constant rapid fire jokes, like one after another. It didn't stop, and I just haven't gotten to watch more of it, but I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, it's I agree with most of what Maz says. I read the source material. Oh, fucking source facts, am I right, guys?
Yep.
I enjoyed it. I don't know, the lul's so random, like jokes kind of got boring after a while. Some of them were pretty good, like the penguin and his eyes thing. Like I honestly just kept loving that every time it happened.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff like what Guri would dress up into and like or do with some of her antics kind of got boring. I really liked the yandere, but that's just because I really like them in general.
Mm-hmm.
And they still haven't. Did they actually like explain like the stuff with the sisters at all? Like, I still feel like that's unexplained. It's just sort of there.
It is pretty weird, the drama of the show.
Yeah, my probably the biggest complaint about Kiss Note is the drama, and probably how the rom-com tried to be a bit more than simple rom-com with the drama. And it kind of tried to introduce some kind of conflict between mothers and daughters, and like between characters, and it didn't really work out. If it was just a constant bombardment of jokes like it was in the first episodes, it would be a lot better for me.
Any other thoughts you have, Cav?
It just for me, just an average rom-com, nothing more, nothing less, I guess. It just had some pleasant characters. I also liked the yandere Akane. She was kind of nice, yeah. And I also really liked OP and the ending.
Yeah, those were neat.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, I really like the ending of the OP too. Like it was one of those things where you kind of like, I don't know. I kept picturing like the people singing, doing like those jazz hands as it fades away, like every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's catchy. It's how you want your OP and AD for your rom-com to be, like exactly like that.
Yeah. Oh, in addition to the yandere, I also really like the pink hair girl. She got she got a little like too extreme sometimes, but I still enjoyed like the general idea of her character. I didn't like it when she got serious about things, but then again, I think that's just a testament to the overall show that it's whenever it did something serious, it kind of sucked. Which is why I felt like the last episode was kind of boring.
Yeah, it was just kind of
Just kind of had to get through it, but oh well. Who knows if we'll see a season 2? Probably never. I mean, that's how these things go.
Because no one else liked this show because they're dumb.
Also because, these only exist as advertisements for the source material. Now, that's all anime is nowadays. Unfortunately. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to our next show. Grimoire of Zero. I dropped it pretty early, actually. I kind of got bored after a while, and even though like it was sort of interesting at the beginning, it just kind of didn't do anything, so got tired of it. I think I dropped around episode 4 or something. I didn't even get to see the other main character, who's on the Mal like photo for it.
The wolf guy?
No, not the wolf guy. The mage, I think.
Oh, 13.
Yeah, sure. I don't know his name.
Yeah, the black-haired guy.
Yeah, black hair guy.
Yeah, that's
but
13.
What do you guys think of it? Which of you actually completed it?
I watched it. So I really wanted to like this. And in the beginning, a lot of people were comparing it to Spice and Wolf, which they wanted to get out of it, but a little more actiony. But ultimately, you didn't get that at all. And I kind of was disappointed that White Fox was the studio to do this one, just because the animation, on average, was just kind of like there. They had these really great like magic fights, but nothing would happen. But like big magic circles would be in front of them, and they would just like have special effects going back and forth while the characters stood still. It was just kind of disappointing. And then the villain was kind of good, I guess. He has more depth to him than the average one. He's just not like, oh, I'm so evil. But in the end, he just kind of falls flat for me.
Yeah, I agree with Wilson. I was excited for this because it's White Fox, and not just because they've done some of my favorite shows, which are Steins Gate and ReZero, but they just seem to have an eye for some certain adaptations. I mean, they did do ReZero after all. They did also like what else? Akame Got Killed. They did The Devil Is a Part-Timer. They do good adaptations of stuff sometimes. So I was thinking, okay, they're doing another light novel. It has a similar name to ReZero. That's obviously why they picked it up. But, it wasn't, I don't know. It's just, it wasn't even that good looking for their shows. And I don't know where I'm going with this. Someone else take over.
Well, I mean, so Steins Gate, it was directed amazingly. Like, it was the shot composition and the, panning and all that. But I saw none of that in this. And it was just all really average and, like, really straightforward.
Yeah. And I also was like kind of hoping this would be an action show, but not really. Although I haven't actually finished this just because I had a lot of complications within this season. So I only got 8 episodes in, but I will finish it soon. But yeah, there's not really any action. There was like one part where that there was an actual fight, but then it was very abruptly cut off for reasons.
Well, that's unfortunate. Oh, well, I mean, just proves that, fantasy does not work in Japan. Ever. Except when it does for those one shows. Hype for Shield Hero. Can't wait for it to be ruined, though. Oh, God.
We'll see about that.
I don't know. I get worried about these things. Whenever, like, a popular manga or, like, light novel series gets adapted, I'm just thinking it's gonna get fucked up, isn't it? And source readers are gonna like either praise it to high hell or sorry, not high hell, high heaven, or shit on it for being not a complete 100% adaptation by Madhouse.
I mean, you're always wondering if is it gonna be Hunter x Hunter or is it gonna be Berserk?
Yeah. Oh God. Oh well, we'll see what happens. Let's move on to our next show of the season.
Hang on, I just want to say one last thing about Grimoire, just because.
Yeah, go ahead.
There was something I did like about the show, and that it's the 2 main characters, Zero and Mercenary. I think they were really fun to watch. They had like a great chemistry together, but that was somewhat ruined by the third character, the third wheel. I don't even remember his name, but
Albus.
The maid?
Albus. Yeah, a very annoying guy who, for the most part, did absolutely nothing. And then in the second half, they finally revealed like why he's important to the plot. And I'm just like, oh, I was hoping he'd like die or something, so I wouldn't have to see him anymore.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
That tragic death midway through a cour just
Yeah,
make
so
it 10
sad.
times better.
Now back to Zero and Mercenary. But yeah, like I love Zero a lot because she's someone who grew up in a civilization that's underground, and she hasn't really had any actual contact with humans, so she kind of acts awkwardly, but not in a way that's awkward for her. It's just like she's just very direct, and it's like one thing I really loved is that Mercenary is like a 7-foot white tiger guy. And so when they're sleeping, Zero will often sleep on top of him, and then he'll get really pissed off, like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, your fur is really soft, warm, and fluffy. Of course I'm going to lay on it. Like, what's the problem? It's just little things like that. It made the show kind of fun to watch. I wish it was more about that than the other guy.
Actually, I went back and watched the first episode like a couple days ago, and I was surprised that it was so funny. Like, I've forgotten how funny it was, and they didn't really keep that throughout the whole thing, but it definitely is a strength of it.
Yeah.
I guess we can trace all of the problems of the show to Albus. God.
You ruined everything.
What kind of a name is Albus, by the way? That's Dumbledore. You can't do that.
Ruined the name of Albus forever. Now I'm gonna hate Harry Potter. Thanks, Japan.
Childhood ruined.
Okay, let's move on to our next show of the season. Suka. Can I just ask a quick question? What the fuck was going on near the end? I literally was just
confused.
What's happening? Why is this what? Wait, why is this doing? Wait, why did they do that? Wait, what?
It all kind of made sense. I mean, as long as people who were reading the source, they were very upset with how it ended. It still kind of made sense a bit. Like, you could trace some things here and there and connect them. But at the same time, it kind of was there. I didn't like the ending all that much, even though we had it coming for a while. Well, I had my fair share of problems with the show in general, but I also know that Moz liked it a lot, I guess. Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so go on. Yeah, go on. What did you like about it?
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Suka was my anime of the season for a while. It just had a couple bad episodes, in my opinion, and I agree that the ending was particularly weird. Not like the last episode itself, but just the very ending. In other words, this is an anime that really needed a full adaptation of the source material, and of course, we're not getting that. But for what it's worth, I think this was a good show because it has a lot of... It's a slow drama, and it's also a slow romance, and there's a lot of, like, nuance to the writing. It doesn't, like, tell you a lot of stuff. Instead, it just actually shows it to you, and it doesn't have, like, really over-the-top characters or emotions. It's like, they all act just pretty realistically, I guess.
No, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, yeah.
Like, I had one little misgiving about it where I thought the main character was a little too emotional. Like, I know there's a lot of shit happening, but every other second he would, like, be crying or, you know, I don't know. Like, I know it's, like, the apocalypse and everything, but...
I didn't mind
Man
it.
up.
I don't think it was bad.
Be a fucking, like, suck it up, you fuck. Just do it. Just bang her right then and there. Just, come on. God.
Well, for me, Suka landed on a weird side because it was a show that I should have liked, actually, because it's slow drama and I usually like those. But I didn't really like it. It was kinda sad, kinda post-apocalyptic, kinda anime, I don't know. It was kinda there, and I didn't really feel anything strong to it because it was very slow. It took its time to establish everything, and it eventually didn't do anything at all for me. Probably because it kept switching between establishing the world, which was kind of interesting, establishing the relationship, which was called also kind of interesting, but didn't do anything in particular really well, which would be really memorable, I guess. Yeah, and the only two episodes I liked was the first one. We discussed it earlier with that fantastic scene where they're wandering around the town, and the last episode, which was also pretty nice and really dramatic. Apparently, I read that both of those episodes were written by source writer. Like, so yes, it was supervised by source writer. So that's why they were on another level than the others. Entire show, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I heard about that as well.
Yeah, and also it was kind of slow for me. I would like a certain death or something like that to spice things up in the middle, because it was kind of too slow, and you were just waiting here, watching the show and waiting for the drama to kick in, and only not getting it till the very end.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna be the major dissenter here and say I didn't really. I mean, while I was very confused for the most part, and I guess part of that played into why I didn't end up enjoying it a lot. Also, I honestly did not like care for half the characters in the show. I know it spent a lot of time trying to build up the relationship between the two, but it still felt sort of weird. Like I can't place my finger on it, but it felt off the whole time. Maybe it's because like it starts off like with the premise that okay, she's not gonna survive. And I think that really diminished my value for a lot of the things that I saw.
You actually reminded me. The opening scene of the show spoils the ending. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, I thought that was a good like technique. Like it gives you like you're hyping up for the end.
But why would you do that?
But no. The problem is if you're hyping that up for the end, and you basically know that they're all dead.
Well, no, the thing
like,
is, you have no context for the opening scene. Like it's just there, and you have no idea how to parse that. Who's this red-haired girl? What's all this happening?
I mean, yeah, you're curious how it gets to it.
I still do not know why would you do that. Why would you put that scene? I mean, the opening scene where they're wandering around the town was already a great hook. You didn't need another one.
Yeah, so it just felt sort of off the entire time. Like I couldn't really get into the relationship knowing that it wasn't gonna happen. Like something bad was gonna happen at the end. And like it even showed in discussion threads, which also bothered me. Like everyone was just like waiting for it or getting ready for it or or something along those lines. And kind of like it was like, oh god, can you just die already, please?
Yep.
I just want to move on
Exactly.
and like see something else more interesting. And I think that it just sort of killed my enjoyment because like I get like okay, so if we remove that foreshadowing bit. If we remove our knowledge that these people had limited lifespans and that they were going to die, and then it would be a little bit better. It would be a lot better probably for me. There's still the issue where like her first problem was I forget the name of the poisoning thing. Venom. Venom. When the venom poisoning happens for the first time, and you kind of like see that she's probably going to die, and then she makes it through. You're kind of like you're happy, right? But you also know at the back of your mind, like something's gonna go worse or wrong.
Yeah,
it's gonna get worse.
Gonna be
and then
wrong.
it gets worse. Her hair turns more red, and then it gets worse, and her hair turns more red. And at that point, I'm just kind of like, okay, what's gonna happen now? Oh, let me guess, is she gonna get worse and somehow survive, or worse and then die? Like those are my only two options. So I feel like it's building up this drama, but it ends up because it's so slow on things. It just sort of fizzles as a result, which sucks because I wanted to enjoy the series. I thought its premise was interesting. I thought it had some neat world building. It was more unique compared to what we were seeing this season. But God, it's just get on with it, please. I don't need drama. I can see coming like a kilometer away.
Yeah, I can agree with that. When the show tries to present an anxiety to the audience, it's good. But when that anxiety stretches for the entire season, it gets tiresome. And just by the end of it, you're just sitting there and waiting for it to end.
Also, quick, okay, this also played into why I didn't enjoy as much. I really lost track of the established rules of this universe, especially with regards to how Catholi kept coming back. And how she was talking to the person, and then near the end, it was like, "Oh, I made a promise to him. Can I go back one last time?" At that point, I was going "Oh, the power of love makes it so that she can save the day again." Oh man, it's just I don't know. I got kind of tired of that. Especially because it happened earlier in the series too. Why did it keep happening?
Oh.
Maybe if it was just a once-off, I could be okay, but I don't know. It kept reusing these ideas over time to I guess increase the effect, but it had instead of getting more intense, more dramatic, it had the opposite effect for me, where I kind of felt more removed from the series as a result.
I thought that was fine, just because this is mainly a romance anime between Willem and Catholi. I thought that was just fine. Though I do kind of agree with you guys when you thought that it stretched out a little too long. I also did find myself a little bit disappointed that it didn't really have like this this dramatic drop like partway through the series at any point. It did feel a lot like it was always setting up for like that big moment where everything goes wrong, and it just doesn't really happen. Like something will go wrong, but it's not like, okay, it's not the end of the world, I guess. Not yet, but that was about it. I guess that's just another problem with this not being a full adaptation.
Closer and closer. Yeah, I can probably understand why like source readers are probably more say that they enjoy the series a lot. It probably does it much better there. I mean, like Cav said, the first and last episodes was supervised by the guy who wrote it. So
and they definitely felt like they were the best parts of the show, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows what could have happened if it was a full adaptation or if it was. The whole thing was supervised by the guy. We'll never know. It's over now. We probably will never get a second season. Honestly, I don't expect much hope for things that are less popular. Unfortunately.
I mean, as it is, this is a series that like almost completely failed, and it managed to survive just to get the novels out, and then end up getting an adaptation. But yeah.
Oh, it's just like Keijo. Rip Keijo.
Rip Keijo.
You died too
music,
soon.
though. Suka Suka, best soundtrack of the year. No joke.
Oh, okay. I'll give it that at least. Let's move on. Kaido. I did not watch this. I said I was going to watch it. I didn't. I couldn't.
Seikaisuru Kado. Have any of you seen it?
I have not seen it.
I started to watch it. The thing about this is it's very much like Akka for me last season, where I tried watching it weekly and then I realized this is way too dialogue heavy. I can't keep up with it weekly. So what I did is I just put it on hold for the rest of the season and then binge watched it at the end. I have not yet binge watched Kado, but I will soon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, if you don't know, Kado at the end turned into the biggest meme of the season. By the other side of our Eromanga.
I saw that. It was great.
Wait, turned into the biggest what?
Time.
Yeah, it just kind of turned into utter nonsense, and
think the ending of Erased.
Oh God! Wow.
No. It was definitely worse. Like,
it was worse.
Yeah, it's an experience, really. Like,
holy shit! I need to watch this.
I was glad I stick to Kado just for the reactions of other people, because literally the most voted comment of the thread is the word what. Wow, everyone was so confused by what was happening. Yeah, everyone was like, what? It's like the show started off nicely. It was a pretty potent sci-fi political thriller with interesting dilemmas and such. But then it derailed in the most glorious way possible, like a train wreck. Like a Cabaneri wasn't even close to it. Yeah, it's something. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I want to watch it just to see that moment unfold and, get to experience it.
Oh my God, the top review from Mal is, this show is a spectacular train wreck. That's what it says. That immediately gets me excited to watch this.
Yeah.
And I'll just say this, the rating for it is 7.3. It was a lot higher before today.
Yeah. It's something, yeah.
For a series. Okay, let's move on. Tsugumomo. I know Wilson was watching it.
Yeah, did anyone else pick it up?
Nope.
So Tsugumomo, I mentioned in the original reflections where I said there wasn't much fan service so far. This is almost a hentai, so
yeah,
you got that going for you.
I saw some manga threads on A for a bit for the show.
Yeah,
and I decided to look through them. And I was like, this is geez, can they show this on TV?
the thing is the show is fine. I really enjoyed it still. I thought it was like slightly above average. I'm not adverse to fan service, but some of the fan service put me off specifically. There's an episode where they're 8 and they're dressed up in string bikinis and shit like that, and then some of the fan service as well comes about through females being kind of mind controlled, almost like they're they drank a love potion or something like that, and that doesn't really sit well with me. But
The doujins just write themselves.
exactly right.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
Oh, that'd be great.
the source, the artist, the mangaka has a pixiv of just like lewd drawings of his own characters.
Nice.
Yo,
Yeah.
he's
That's
living
my
the
favorite
dream.
kind of author.
Yeah, he likes his art.
He's got it made.
But there's an arc towards the end that picks up the action and actually gets kind of serious, and I really enjoyed it. People said that the manga is a lot better, both in terms of quality, like art quality, as well as the anime just gets to the first part of the story where it actually ramps up. So I'm actually probably gonna pick up the manga.
I pray for your soul. Just saying. Let's go move on. Hinako Note. I heard this was a terrible. Can anyone confirm?
It was not bad, I guess. Hinako Note is the cute girl show of the season. No one else watched it, right?
Nope.
No.
So yeah, that's really just it. It's the cute girl show of the season. Though I will admit, I've only really watched it just because there wasn't another cute girls show of the season. And if this came out in winter, trust me, it would have been completely destroyed. But it's about Hinako, who lived in the country, and she worked as a scarecrow because when she gets nervous, she like stands completely still with her arms spread out, so animals will flock around her.
Okay.
Exactly, and another girl eats books. So fantastic. So
I can see how this is a cute girl show.
Yep. So she kind of she like moves in with a few other girls who run a maid cafe, and they also are part of this theater club, and they're trying to do something. That's basically it. It's a cute girl show.
Okay.
It's a lot of chibis and a lot of high-pitched voices, which are kind of annoying, which is actually kind of weird, is because despite the fact that it's trying to be really cute, it also gets really freaking lewd at times, and
Someone posted an album about the like all the end caps, like the mid cards and stuff like that, and I was just like, those
end cards are top.
Dude, nice.
Yeah, not much to say about it. It's just a very, very subpar cute girl show. Good enough, I guess. You know, like I mean, I'm still watching it. I've only gone halfway through it just because I'm watching it really slowly. But it wasn't like bad enough to make me drop it. Like every episode gets a soft laugh out of me, and I think the girls are pretty well designed, and the show is well animated. But nothing else to really say about it.
Okay, well, I guess we'll move on. Tsukigakiri. I've heard this was actually really fantastic towards the end.
I knew immediately this was going to be the sleeper hit of the season.
I wouldn't say it got really fantastic, but it was still pretty good, and it holds the mark till the end.
Tsukigakiri is my anime of the season, actually.
Yeah, same.
Ooh. Okay,
Yeah.
so
It's not really that Tsukigakiri is that amazing. It's just that season kind of sucked.
Yeah.
okay, Wilson, do you want to go into detail why it's your anime of the season?
Well, so Tsukigakiri is a anime about a middle school romance that kind of like blossoms, and they have their first relationship, and it just continues from there. I just thought it captured those feelings really well. This might sound a little lame, but when I was in middle school, I have like this vivid memory of like getting my first hug from a girl, and you can kind of see that in the main character Kotaro, as he like, you know, girls get a little close to him, and he kind of gets like really shy and nervous, and I don't know, it was just freaking adorable is what this show was. Like the entire time, like I'm pretty sure I was actually misty-eyed like the entire time I was watching. Yeah, it just it's really realistic in showing relationships and how they deal with the problems that come with that.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
It's true.
I'm glad it captures the feelings well, because this is by Studio Feel.
Okay, Studio Feel is legit becoming one of my more favorite studios. As
Here comes another Origairo shield.
No. It's actually because of Gulko-chan. I am so happy they adapted Gulko. Oh, it's such a good show. Everyone should watch it, honestly.
This is their first original show, isn't it?
I wasn't aware, is it?
Maybe, yeah, it's
I've
original
never
show,
heard
yeah.
of Feel doing an
If
original
it's original,
show
then,
before.
you know, great job. Like, we need more original stuff in anime.
Yeah.
Could you believe it? It's a complete romance. View.
Yeah. Like, holy shit, they did it, the madmen.
Yeah. So they are not only holding hands, but they are doing even lewder stuff.
Dude, the hentai episode was last week. Tone it down.
I should have talked about it then. Fuck.
By the way, everyone watch the hentai episode.
Oh, please, no. I don't need them to judge me more than they already do. I say some weird shit in that. I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
Please. I'm a normal human being. I'm a real human being. Please.
Yeah, anyway, back to Tsuki. Yeah, it was really good, and the main romance was of a very high quality, I guess. But I would say that the biggest strength of the show is being realistic and somewhat grounded. It is also a major weakness because it's not very memorable. Like, there aren't many highlight moments which you would like remember for years, I guess. It's probably a consequence of it not being too dramatic, which is fine. It just what the show went for. It went for grounded realism, I guess. Yeah, and I would also want to know that the shorts at the end of each episode were good fun.
Oh, I actually didn't watch those. I might have to go back.
Oh yeah, the little shorts. I noticed that.
Yeah, they were pretty fun. Yeah, they were a lot of fun.
That's good to hear. I should actually probably go back and binge watch it.
Yeah.
I meant to watch
very
it,
good
but
show.
then I kind of got sidetracked. Looking forward to, getting that complete romance adaptation feels. Ooh.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
So did
Anyways.
you watch it, random dude guy, bro?
No, I literally just said I didn't. I'm gonna watch
sorry.
it and get hyped, while I'm
Alright.
watching it,
It's really good.
and be like, oh, they're holding hands. Oh my god.
Oh.
Or I actually
Oh.
saw some clips of it on our anime, and it was pretty enjoyable. Like, I actually really enjoyed the comedy, that at least the minor comedy, like when one of the girls got really jealous about something, and that was fun. Like, I think it was on the train stop or something, and she was like, which would you prefer, this or me? And he was like trying to think in his mind, like, oh geez, what do I say?
The entire show looks great as well. The director's the same one that did Humanity Has Declined, and it kind of shows.
I like the like white outlines that the characters have.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. But if I can give my opinion, I'm gonna drag everyone down with my amazingly unpopular opinion. I only got halfway through this. I don't like this show very much, though. Like, I cannot say this is a bad show by any means. That is absolutely not true at all. I think it is, for what it is fine. But this is like the most anti-Mozilla Fennekin show I can think of, where it's like, it's very slow, the characters are very realistic, it's very ordinary. And I mean, for comparison, my favorite anime of the season was Love Tyrant. Like, do you think I have time for this kind of show?
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, in a way, I do definitely respect it. I think it is very realistic. I appreciate that the two main characters, they kind of fall in love just not really for any reason, just because they, other than they just find each other in their lives a lot. And they also act like really shy. Like, there's a moment where they're both kind of thinking, oh, should I text her? Oh, am I going to be really needy? Oh, but what if she thinks I'm ignoring her? Oh, things like that. I appreciate that. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know.
So
I feel
what?
Like
Yeah,
I feel like there's a certain level when a show like gets too realistic that I'm just like, I don't want to watch literally something that I could just imagine completely happening in real life or something like that.
The thing is, the reason why the realism appeals so much to me is I think it connects with me. Like, it brings up feelings that I had felt when I was their age, and it's kind of hard for a medium to do that. So, when something does, I really enjoy it. Even down to some of the conflict they have with like the other people.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand why this show got as well loved as it did. Again, I like when I saw the first episode, I was actually really surprised that it wasn't more well liked, because I'm just like, okay, this is like just the little nuances in the writing, just the way they're presenting the characters. Like when the first episode, when the two families kind of get together, like, oh hey, like this girl's in your son's class, like, oh that's so cool. Like, yeah, that totally happens, dude. I've been there. Like I immediately knew, I'm just like, this is going to be a show that a lot of people are going to love, even though I can't really get myself to love it.
And it's probably because it wasn't that flashy at the start, and it only got popular via word of mouth, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, we have to move on, and the next show is a new Danmachi, which is Sword Oratoria. Has anyone seen it?
I saw the first couple episodes and I dropped it. So
I also saw the first episode and dropped it.
I've heard that the whole thing. Well, okay, so the whole thing just ended up being like more of the same from the first 3 episodes, but it got more and more frustrating as time went on. That's what I've heard, at least.
Okay, so apparently no one has finished it.
Oh, nope.
Yes.
Well,
Good discussion, guys. Let's move on.
Yep.
Did anyone
Don't watch I fucking hate Danmachi. Like, seriously, I absolutely hated the first season, and then I thought, okay, Sword Oratoria, it's about a character that doesn't completely suck. This one might be better. No, it's not even really about her. It's about her side characters who I don't care about at all and are really annoying. And that was about it.
what's horrible is that that side character gets like her redemption, like she gets like her big moment, and then they just continue the focus on her. And I'm like, isn't the name of the title has eyes in it? I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a complete lie. It was the hook to drag people into it, to watching it, to try and pick it up, and then laugh maniacally as they said you were trapped and now you have to endure this shit.
So I guess that's just the adaptation being bad, because a lot of I kind of got hyped for this because the light novel readers were hyped for it, because some people were like, okay, is this like the same as the regular Danmachi? And they're like, no, dude, it's way better. This Sword Oratoria is so much better than normal Danmachi. I'm like, okay.
Your first mistake was to trust light novel readers on things.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But even then, they were like, read the novels.
Classic. Well, then again, even I did that for Gairu, so I think it applies to pretty much everything. Well, if we don't have anything else to say, Maz, you want to talk about an actual Chinese cartoon that aired this season?
Ooh, yeah, Quanzhi Gaoshou, or the King's Avatar. So this was really interesting. All right, so you might have noticed in the last few seasons we've been getting these Chinese productions, like literal Chinese cartoons. They get animated by studios in China. They get Japanese dubs mostly, but I guess they're just broadcast over China and Japan. I don't know what's going on behind it. Quanzhi Gaoshou is like the most Chinese just because this one actually did not get a Japanese dub, and it also wasn't even broadcast on Japanese TV, which is why no one simulcasted it. Instead, it was only on the Bilibili network in China. So that's why if you ever watch this show, you're going to get Japanese subs along with the English subs, just because there's no Japanese dub. But the thing is that these Chinese anime that have been coming out have been terrible. Like, unquestionably horrible, bottom of the barrel garbage. Like, the only one that I would actually recommend is To Be Hero, and even then that show was just absolutely chaotic. It's just literally a bunch of people doing whatever the hell they wanted. So,
To Be Hero, hold on. To Be Hero was animated by one guy, if I remember correctly.
was it really?
Wow. No.
I would be really surprised if you said that, because it looked kind of good.
Not animated by one guy, but the most important scenes was animated by like an up and coming animation. I can't remember the exact story, but it was supposedly like a really interesting tidbit of knowledge. Maybe if someone can correct me, that'd be fantastic. Or maybe I'll look it up later. But I swear, like, there's one guy. It was special because like one guy animated something in it, something like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure of that. So, okay, keep going.
Well, good for him, because that show looked kind of good. The other shows, all these Chinese anime, look terrible. They're written terribly. Everything about them sucks. So, Quanzhi Gaoshou. This show had no reason to be good whatsoever. It didn't get simulcasted. And of course, everyone knows by now the Chinese anime have been terrible. But then the pedantic romantic on YouTube said, this show is good. It's like Sword Art Online, but less shit. And so a lot of people picked it up. That's why it got popular. And I would say that if that is your approach to the show, that you really hate Sword Art Online and you can't stop thinking about how much it sucks, then I think that you will really love The King's Avatar, because it does do some things right. It's about a professional gamer. It's about someone who's an adult. He kind of struggles with some real life complications. However, I don't like this show. I did not actually think it was that good. Again,
okay.
if you just want to compare it to Sword Art Online, then yes, this is like leagues better. But on its own, like, initially the main conflict of the show is that the main character Yeishu had he has to retire because he's forced into retirement, basically, because he's been playing this game called Glory. And for the record, this is not an isekai. This is like literally just someone sitting at their computer playing a game normally. Although it does kind of animate like scenes in the game as if like it's the person themselves, just to make it more fun. That's fine. But the problem is that Yeishu has in the 10 years that he's been playing the game, he's declined over the years. He used to be the king of the game, the king of fighters, I believe he was called, and over the years he's declined, and now they're making him retire. So if he ends up playing the game again, but he has to basically restart from the ground up. And the game just opened a 10th server, so a lot of people are doing the same. They're making new characters. They're starting all over again. But then he's just the same. He's just as good as he always was. He's the best again. He just has a different name. That's it. It's like there's no rebuild to his skill. He starts beating records left and right. Like a lot of people will clear lower level floors and lower level areas, and it's about beating a set. They speed run through it because the best records, the best times will get posted, and it's a big deal. But he'll just like it's the way he just plays, and the way he directs all of his party members, his teammates. It's just he's just the best, basically. Still, but what are you saying?
It does sound like he's some kind of Saitama.
Yeah, basically.
Like from
But
One
for like
Punch Man.
video
Yeah.
games. Yeah.
Like the thing is, like it's not like he doesn't exactly like his character is not it doesn't have like a specific build. It's not specialized in any sort of thing. It's just the fact that he can play the game so quickly. Like he like his actions per minute is so high that he can basically do anything. And because his character isn't specialized in any particular thing, it can therefore do everything. But
it sounds kind of lazy.
OP, time for a nerf.
yeah, and it's not even really good for like a show about video games. Like one thing that kind of bothered me is that one thing that happens is that Yeishu makes a new strategy for one of the early levels. And again, Glory is a game that's been around for like 10 years. He figures out that you can throw an enemy into a certain spot into this level, and that'll trap them, and it'll basically, it'll make you clear the area faster, clear the area of enemies faster, just by using this environment. This isn't like an Easter egg or something. This is like something that you look at the level and it's immediately apparent. Like it's this giant crack in the wall. And so it's something that people would find out like in 5 seconds. It's something that someone would find out or figure out accidentally, and all of a sudden you're supposed to believe that he's the first person to ever think that, oh wow, you can use the environment in this game after 10 years. Amazing. So it's like one of those things where Yeishu is really good because everyone else is really bad.
Okay, well,
That's fair enough.
that's interesting. Let's move on to some of the big hits. So I guess the more popular shows of the season that ended. Starting with Little Witch Academia, that ended. I haven't watched it. I still have to watch the OVA that came out and then watch the rest of the series. But how was it, guys?
Okay.
It was kind of dividing. I know many people who loved it, and I know many people who were disappointed by it. I'm kind of leaning to the later side. It wasn't that particularly good for me. It was mostly just some kind of wacky adventures with some kind of plot going on, but it just wasn't good enough for me, I guess. It was just a pretty tale with trigger visuals, with eccentrics, in Believe in Yourself, though we never heard about it before. Some rather cliche twist with hype, and kind of annoying protagonist. Aku is a really dividing character. I know people who hate it like me, and I know people who thought she was amazing character, but I don't know. I didn't like her. That's probably why I didn't enjoy Little Witch Academia as I could have. Well, that's it, I guess.
Anyone else watched it?
I watched it.
I watched it too.
What do you guys think?
Wilson, you can go.
Okay, I really enjoyed it, and I'm actually sad that Kav didn't enjoy it as much as I did. I do know that like a couple of the earlier episodes were very weak in my opinion. There's one episode where there's a dragon who does stocks, and I was just like, at that moment, I was just almost like going to drop it actually right there, because I was just like, this is ridiculous, and what is going on? People were expecting the second half to have an arc to itself, like not be episodic like the first half was, and lo and behold, there it goes. I do agree that Akko is a little annoying. She is kind of a very common character archetype where she's like, I can do it, no matter what. But I still like her character, and I like the characters in general. Though I do believe that some of them could be fleshed out more.
It's not even about annoyance. It's about her learning patience and then forgetting about it the very next episode.
Yeah, exactly. And like she says that she's gonna be the best witch, but she never actually does anything to like further that. She doesn't actually study very much, and she's very lazy.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how that it's a story about believing in yourself, but it also casually undermines the theme of hard work, because the main villain worked really hard to save the magic, but it turned out to be useless because apparently you have to believe in yourself. That's what matters, and not your hard work.
So the thing is, she works very hard, but for the wrong reasons and in the wrong way, which is kind of Chariot does as well.
It's weird. It's like the whole moral of the anime is kind of janky.
I don't know. I thought it dealt with some pretty deep themes, and I really enjoyed it.
I think that
my favorite thing about it was Diana's arc. It was by far the best part of the show for me.
I think that Little Witch Academia was, for the most part, all right. I don't think this was like a missed opportunity for Trigger. I'm glad that they made a full adaptation of the OVA series that they did. Though I do think it could have been a lot better than it was. I don't mind some of the episodes in the first half. Like, I actually kind of liked the dragon episode, just because I enjoyed the theme of how magic is applying to the real world, basically, because the theme of it is that magic is dying, and because it hasn't really kept up with technology. Technology is, it's rendering it obsolete, basically, and that comes into play a lot in the second half of the show. But yeah, I guess I just maybe wanted a little more of the plot in the second half. I think actually my biggest problem with the show is that it was about Akko, Diana, and Ursula, and aka Shiny Chariot. And in the second half, it was about LaCroix. I think what the show should have been about is Akko, Lotte, and Susie. Because I think that I agree that Akko, I like Akko, but I also agree that she can be a frustrating character. And I think that it's up to the side characters, namely Lotte and Susie, to pick her up, basically. Make her more enjoyable in a way. And that just doesn't really happen. Like, it's really kind of sad that those two characters are the ones that I really wanted to see the most out of this show, and yet I would actually say that even Amanda got more screen time than them.
Yeah.
It's a bit of misleading, because they were main characters in the OVA, and they got shafted in the main series.
Well, a problem that the main series has is that it tends to just like give them their own little moments. Like, they get their own episodes, but then after that they just kind of get tossed to the side. And the same thing happens with Diana too, where like Diana has her little thing, and then like after they solve her like issue, she gets all dere and she just like follows Akko and whatever.
Yeah.
What was your favorite episode of Little Witch Academia?
The Susie episode.
It was directed by Maisha, by the way.
Yeah. And also, I think it was episode... Well, maybe I won't say the number, but I'll just say the episode where they, like, reveal the big thing, basically.
Oh, with the twist, yeah.
Yeah, that twist. Like,
Yeah,
that was
nice.
actually, like... That was... See, when I watched it, I was like, this show could have been a lot better with the plot, but then that happens, and I'm like, oh my god, that literally changes everything. Like, rewatching the show now has a completely different meaning.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
What about you, Wilson?
Favorite episode?
Yep.
I mean, I'm a sucker for visuals. I really like the last couple episodes. Like the freaking,
I see.
Diana and Akko pulling back the bow together, and Diana wanted to be chosen, but she wasn't, so she gets her moments now. It's all that kind of, fleshed together with me.
Yeah. I've mentioned that I really enjoyed the Diana's arc, but there's a honorable mention going for Constanza's episode, where Akko was trying to help her, and in the end it turned into a little shout out to Gurren Lagann, which I really enjoyed. Yeah.
Like, I joked around, just like, Trigger just made Little Witch Academia just to dick around.
Yep. It was pretty good.
I mean, they did the
Also,
same thing with Paper Patrol Luluko, so...
Mm-hmm. Also, shouts out to Senshi for doing the fan subs. I love that one moment where they put the fan sub on every single screen for that one episode. I don't know if you guys know.
No,
what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
it was great.
Yep.
Perfect. But yeah, I gave Little Witch Academia a 7, by the way.
I gave it 6.
I gave it a 9.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Whole range of scores. Neat. Well, in that case, let's move on to the next anime. Saikano Season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped it at, I don't know, the third, fourth episode.
All right.
I honestly got tired of, the classic formula of, hey, meta thing, hey, let's acknowledge it, hey, I'm still going to do it anyways. And I kind of got tired of their antics after a while.
Yeah,
but
interesting.
that's just me. What do you guys think of it?
Have you seen it, guys?
I've seen it.
I have not. I haven't seen season 1, so no.
All right. Go on, Wilson.
Well, season 2 was better than season 1 for me, and what's interesting about it is that it's not about the harem elements anymore. It's more about content creation and what that entails, and I thought that was a really interesting direction to go, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, indeed, yeah. I was really enjoying the second season. Well, I was really enjoying season 1 as well. Because of character interactions and how it was all presented. Like, it was fun to watch. Second season tried to set up things a bit differently. It was way more dramatic.
It kind of does the Order of Gairu thing, right?
Yeah, in a sense, I was comparing it to Zoku, yeah. Yeah, I was comparing it to Zoku, actually, especially in the later half, which your random dude has dropped. Sadly enough, yeah, it got kinda dramatic. There were many character interactions, interesting enough, and there was a kind of an unexpected development, which suggests on some interesting direction into the light novel series, which sadly are not translated, by the way. And it was fine. Like, I liked the way it goes. It wasn't all that well presented. Like, there was some meta humor here and there, distracting from the drama, which wasn't that good. But the direction was interesting enough. Like, the way what Aki, the main character, got, he deserved all that he got.
Yeah.
Like, I know some people were disappointed. Oh, my harem, it crumbles and stuff, but it was a very needed development for the series, I guess. Another season of just messing around with each other wouldn't be as good as some kind of development, I guess. I liked it. It would be my actually favorite, one of my favorite shows of the season, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Oh, neat. Well, if you joined it, then more power to you. I wish I could enjoy stuff. I wish I could enjoy anime again.
Anime sucks.
God, what a fantastic feeling it must be. Actually, speaking of enjoying anime for the first time, because this next series was my first anime. It's Attack on Titan.
Ooh. This is my first anime too, sort of.
This is up there for me. So
It's in my first 10 shows, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of like the one most people started with, or we got a lot of people into anime. I know people who were like who actually watched this and never watched this another episode of anime ever again, which kind of made me sad because I try to talk with them about other shows in later seasons, and they'd be like, "Dude, I don't watch anime." I was like, "Oh,
yeah, well, what are you, a fucking weeb?"
Well,
I thought
it just shows how much of a phenomenon Attack on Titan is, actually.
yeah. So, what do you guys think of the second season?
I thought the second season was fun, of course. It's Attack on Titan, you know exactly what you're getting. But in a way, I think it was kind of... In some ways, I think it was better, because it definitely ramps up some intensity to another level. It has some really, really big reveals that I think were done excellently. I won't say what, but I'll just say, those reveals in the middle. And yeah, it was fun, but I also in some ways think it's a little weaker than the first season, just because partially because it's half length, but also just because it asks more questions than it answers. Basically, you're going to walk away from this season wondering a lot more things than you actually know.
Yeah, it ends on a pretty huge cliffhanger, and if there was no announcement of season 3, I bet many people would get mad.
Yeah. God, it's weird. So again, I'm a source fag for this as well. I kind of expected where they were going to end it, but I still was blown away by what they ended up showing in the season, because I didn't expect some of it.
Yeah, some people were saying that like there's some things that happen in the anime that didn't really happen in the manga until just a few months ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Also the OP and ED for that series, like I was going what the fuck the whole time. Like I was legitimately confused
the ED
as well.
is a mind fuck.
I had to skip the ED. It kind of got creepy for me.
I like the ED a lot, actually.
It's my favorite ED of the season.
Yeah, it's a kind of music I enjoy, shoegaze. Yeah. Well, anyway, for me, season 2 was a lot better than season 1. Because it improved on pretty much every aspect. It showed character development for side characters, much needed. As Moss has said, cool plot twist, and it deepens the lore, and the lore is probably the most interesting thing about Attack on Titan. And it had a lot less Eren, which is also a big plus for me, because I still have no idea why Eren is here. He just spoils the entire show for me. Like, you just have to have that shonen male lead to shout, to scream, and to get angry for no reason, to get in the way of things. Yeah. And one of the most disappointing things for me was that he got yet another power-up. Yeah, they better explain it later on.
The new power-up kind of concerns me as well. I don't really know where they're going with it. I haven't read the manga. Some manga readers are telling me, "Oh, don't worry, it's not bad." But I'm just like, okay, it doesn't really sound good.
I'm just worried that with all those power-ups, they're kind of justifying his bitchy behavior. Like, he gets away with everything because he's so OP.
He's the chosen one.
Yeah.
Oh well. I also enjoyed Attack on Titan. It's it's what you expect out of it. You get cool visuals from it's IG. No, it's Wit Studio who does it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're
technically
they're pretty good.
IG, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're pretty good visuals. I enjoyed it. I enjoy also. Oh, I loved how after every episode we got a clip from the episode on the front page of our anime. Just let everyone and their mother know that this happened in this episode. That actually is probably my biggest issue with the series, is the fact that it's so popular that it's really hard to go into any sort of discussion about it. Or like consume other content. I feel awkward about like treading those threads, because you either get source readers spoiling other people or doing implication spoilers.
Yeah, I think a Mother's Basement in one of his newest videos like spoiled the biggest thing that happened in season 2 of Attack on Titan. And it's like, dude, don't do that.
Yeah, it's my big issue with this whenever a show gets really large, is that you end up having a lot of these implication spoilers. And I mean, I'm not faulting the series itself, I'm faulting more of the community surrounding any big major series. Like this also would apply to Boku no Hero Academia, which is also fairly big, and you kind of get this some threads are worse than others. I know a lot of people are making an effort to be really conscious of what they say, and I appreciate that a lot. It's just you can't help it when you have such a large community about this sort of thing.
That fight in Boku no Hero Academia, like I saw everything about that fight for like a week afterwards. But yeah.
You can't help, like it's just gonna happen. Like one or two people will do something, not think about what they're doing, and it kind of ruins the experience for someone else. And it's unfortunate, but like not much you can do when a series gets really popular. But yeah, no, that was my main issue, is just like it was kind of hard to go into discussion threads, but luckily I stopped myself after a while. And I just watched the show every once in a while. Like I wouldn't watch it immediately, actually. I would watch it like the day after, when everything died down. So the only thing I got spoiled on was whatever someone posted as a separate clip to the front page, which wasn't that too bad, but it was still kind of like, oh my god, please, come on. But yeah, lots of fun action, lots of cool, neat stuff, and yeah, just more of the same. Looking forward to season 3. Even though a lot of people consider it casual trash, it's still I agree
that it's like really easy and really popular to hate Attack on Titan, but I just think that it's like there's so much heart put into the show that I just can't help but go like, damn, that was so cool. Like even if it's like a dumb kind of cheesy thing, I'm just like, yeah, that's what I want.
I just feel intrigued. I actually want to learn more about the world. I want to learn more about characters, even though it has its faults. I still want to know more.
What's in the damn basement, right?
Yep, exactly.
We'll never find out. It'll never happen. It's a meme. It has to remain a meme for all time. Just like, crap. I remember Kekai Sense in the final episode was also a meme, but that eventually came out.
Kizumonogatari came in. It was a meme.
And someday, even the last rebuild will come out.
Yeah, well, it already has for manga readers, but for anime-only watchers, never. Maybe in 2020. Rip. Will we even still be watching anime by 2020? Who knows?
We'll see. I hope there will be no more such trash seasons as this one.
Yeah, so where we said this was the worst season of all time at the beginning of the season, we were right. We predicted the future, guys.
I'm literally not joking. This is literally spring 2017 was literally my least favorite season.
I'm not sure if it was the least, but it's one of the least season. Yeah, the least favorite.
Yeah, it's surprising because past springs have been usually filled with heavy hitters, if I remember correctly.
And Re:Zero and Origari Zoku, yeah, Orville Spring series.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of shocking.
This season we got the notable Akashic records and Eromanga Sensei.
Yeah, excited for those.
Rip. Oh well. Let's look forward to summer. Maybe that'll be decent. Who am I kidding? It'll also be the worst season of all time. Just like every other
anime strike season. And Netflix have destroyed everything. Hooray! Anime's canceled.
Yeah, exactly.
Shaft canceled Christmas again.
Yeah. God damn it! Why is it consuming anime so hard? God, I just want to watch my Chinese cartoons and see them, dress half naked and touch each other.
Exactly.
Wait, that came out wrong.
The hentai episode was okay. We can do the bit again.
Please, no, I want to forget that. Oh God, I'm scared because there's going to be a part 2.
Please listen to the hentai episode of the R Anime podcast.
Okay, no, let's finish off here, guys. We hope you enjoyed our shit taste though for this season, and let us know how you like the spring season.
All right.
Yeah.